trail has now taken me here to the Schenectady Stockade, and I'm about to drop in on the Historical Society to get a little more detail on the specifics of the hauntings in this area.
This is one of the oldest neighborhoods in New York State, site of the Massacre of 1690 and rebuilt.
On this spot, a marker of where the wall once stood, and it was also believed that probably the first volley was fired here.
A lot of creepy stuff has happened here over the years. A lot of reports from people, from residents in houses saying unusual stuff going on. For years, people would say that there was this apparition of a Mohawk man canoeing down the Mohawk River, but no one could actually find out who he was. And if they followed him, invariably he would disappear.
A painting depicting the massacre would infer that it was the natives who were the initial aggressors, but it was actually tension with the French that caused the entire thing.
We also have the story of a young woman who ran away with her beloved. Alice, super young, super in love with this guy that her dad hated.
Upon hearing of this, the father tracked them down and murdered them both. And in a strange twist of tragedy, the town chose to avenge her and bludgeoned the father to death after tracking him down into the forest.
They say her ghost on full moon still haunts in this area.
According to record, the victims of the massacre were buried in one cemetery. However, years later, a huge storm would roll through, flooding the area, unearthing all the bodies, cadavers washing down the streets, and some of the locals picked apart those bodies.
One of the creepiest stories we have is here, right down the street on Cucumber Alley. There was a kid named Mortimer. He was young, but suffered from gigantism, and it made him a little bit of an outcast among the neighborhood kids who were not very kind.
And if there's one constant throughout history, kids can be mean.
He would hide up in a big black walnut tree outside his house and would throw walnuts down at kids. When he passed away, they say his ghost was here for a long time, even still to this day.
Take one of two guided ghost tours, the Colonial Hauntings or a Ghostly Victorian tour, and learn more about these stories. Private candlelight tours can be booked year-round by reservation.
When I started working here, this is the last thing I expected to find.
Between the massacre, the sightings, all the history, as well as the current occupants of this town contribute to the paranormal activity that is felt and witnessed here at the Schenectady Stockade.